Welcome to part 2 of Beyond the Struggle. Thank you guys for joining us again. If you haven't seen part 1, make sure to check it out. We hope you enjoy. Stick around.
And here's the thing, I guess what I needed to see and where I was with God and what he needed to show me is exactly where I was and where I needed to be, right? So it was going to sober living, managing sober living, living this, and those things in my life I was not ready for,
right.
And until I was ready for them, I was not provided them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think I've mentioned that to you a couple of times,
Yeah.
and I mentioned that to a lot of guys who was like, oh, well, he's got this, he's got that. Well, maybe God's just not ready for you to have that in your life. And when he is, you will, and that's kind of what I was telling Cherie, when she was wanting to get married. I was like, maybe God's just not ready for us to be married just yet. When the right time is coming, and the right time will be, but
praying.
she didn't like that too much. She keep praying,
for Jeff,
What would Jeff do in this situation?
Jeff trying to sprinkle that game and AA together, huh?
Well, he ran out.
And yeah, I did. I had to put a ring on it, But it is, man. It's like when am I capable of having these things in my life, And I have to look at that a lot of times. Like if I don't see that I have certain things that maybe I would like to have or growth that I would like to have in my life, I have to look at what actions I haven't taken. And I have to really kind of pray about that and say, well, look, at the end of the day, maybe God just don't want me to have this right now. Maybe this just isn't meant for me and I got to, move on with my life instead of sitting there focusing and what's the word I'm looking for? Harping on these ideas and things that I don't
Obsessing over them.
Obsessing, right? And so, yeah, man.
Yeah, my story's a little different, man. I had my kids were older, not like old, but it was like, it wasn't like young children for me. So it was a little bit different. Also, thank God I had my children's mother was like a responsible human being. So it's like
right.
that made it a lot easier on me,
Unlike yourself, right?
So for you, man, did you get the boys back before you and the wife separated, or y'all separated then you got them back full time? Like how did
that was a crazy situation that happened. So we were getting there, and they're like, "You about to get them back?" You know what I'm saying? And long story short is things didn't work out with her.
Yeah.
I love her to death. She's the mother of my kids, but things didn't work out, and then it was all me. And it literally went, things didn't work out. She had to move out, and then a week later, I go from weekend daddy, and there's a big difference between weekend daddy and full-time daddy.
Yeah, man.
And bro, I was like 18 months sober, and dude, I mean, I ain't never really been a dad, and personally, whenever I was a kid, I never said I want kids, I want children.
Right,
it just wasn't I didn't think about stuff like that. So I went from doing the weekend thing to now you got them full time. Now you're daycare.
You're just figuring it out.
Now you're rolling.
Yeah.
Here you go. And it did a couple things. Kids can condense your world a little bit because now I can't go to the meetings I was going to. Now I can't go see or do things. They were very young. Whenever I got them back, I believe they were just over a year, 12, 13 months. And ain't just one of them, it's two of them. That was one of the biggest struggles. And that continues to be a struggle, being a father, because you see it and people go, oh my God, that's beautiful and da-da-da-da-da, but it ain't no joke, So
how old are they now?
They're 4. They're about to be 5.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. And so it was a great thing, but the way it happened, and just like you said, whenever I got sober, I had this vision of how things were going to be.
And
they
my life.
Yeah, exactly.
Variety,
And they didn't work out like that. And like you say, everything works out for a reason, but in the moment, it's hard to accept things it's hard to accept life. It's so much easier to say than actually be hit with some real shit and just be like, I'm just going to accept this.
Yeah.
But we made it happen, and then the journey continued.
Yeah.
Found a way to make it work.
And so y'all stayed in the 2-bedroom apartment for.
I stayed there for about a year and a half, and let me tell you something. That apartment was magical, dude.
Yeah.
I worked there, lived there, brought the kids to daycare, but it really helped me out because I could be at my house also and do things. My buddy Justin, he came, moved in. I didn't really know him that well at the time. He moved in at the apartment. By the end of it, by the time I moved out, we had I was getting a lot of people from sober living in there, dog.
Hey man, I got a place you can move in.
Justin would get the kickback and then he'd split it with me. You know what I'm saying? And man, we had like 5 or 6 people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we would go hang out, and everybody was real close. So looking back, even though it was a struggle, I missed that apartment. It was
I
great.
forgot Justin lived over there for a while.
I mean, dude, identical, bro. Like he'd come cook, or I'd go cook. You know, he might watch the kid. He was my homie, bro. He still is, but he'd come watch the kids for a minute while I had to go do something. And it also unity, right? It worked like that because I was putting in the work. If I would have isolated myself at the beginning or tried to do it my way, having some type of community, it's helped me and it saved my ass a lot of times.
Well, that's also, man, we talk about this a little bit, is just kind of growing up in the program and the people that you're kind of brought up in the program with. And I look back on those times, dude. Those were the greatest times, right? It really was. If you were truly involved, in the program and the sober living and just the community part of it, in the unity part, man, you can't beat those. You should not miss out on those.
No, you shouldn't.
And it's because I look back on that, and I mean, I don't know where I would be without that. I mean, I guess, we're always going to end up where we're supposed to be. But for me, that's what kind of set me on this path, and it put me with other like-minded people to kind of grow in this and teach me about the program, show me some things I shouldn't do and some things, and the right things to do. At the end of the day, we were always seeking the right way to do things. You know what I'm saying? And I had to surround myself with those type of people because that's what I did in active addiction. I surrounded myself with people that either I wanted to be like, right, or had something that I wanted.
That's right.
It's the same thing in recovery. You have something I want, or you're somebody that I want to model myself after to stay sober, right? And just the overall camaraderie and the enjoyment of going to conferences and doing all that shit, bro. That I'm so thankful for having those moments, and I'm so thankful for the people in recovery that I got to experience that with, and lifelong friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? No matter if they stay or if they go. I'm always here if you want to come back. You know what I mean?
That's right.
And I know that, heaven forbid anything happened to me, I'd have the same type of people welcome me back with open arms,
I know for me, man, I got, the opportunity to be dad again at about 7 months sober. And I would look around and I'd be like, because my life changed drastically too. Yeah. All of a sudden you go back into,
father mode.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it's and the thing is I'm looking around, I'm looking at these people, and I'm like, man, this guy's still going to 5 meetings a week, and this guy's this. And I'm going to say, though, hindsight, now I'm so thankful because, I had to start to expand my tool bag real quick. My spiritual life had to grow a lot because I wasn't able to hit. I literally went from 7 nights a week. I mean, we're going to detox centers, we're doing this, we're doing that, to all of a sudden, okay, I can't, 3 nights a week's a good week.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right.
And it was but now looking back, it's it afforded me the opportunity to expand my, my coping mechanisms, and I'm real big on it now. I'm a 12-step guy, obviously, but I'm huge on I'm going to see, I want to use, I would use any substance you had. I had my favorite and the one I needed, but I'll use whatever. And I'm the same now. It's what can I utilize to get healthy?
Right.
Yes, 12 steps are what saved my life, and I'm a big 12-step guy, but what else can I throw in here? And that really kind of hey, you're going to have to start looking at some other stuff too.
Right.
What's your
talking
life
mental health and
yeah,
stuff?
mental health, but prayer life. What is you know, everything, man. Like, you know, being much more involved with, you know, I remember somebody really close to me, because I went to him and I was talking to him. It was probably right around a year, man. But I'm 4 or 5 months in, and going to my home group, and my home group was on Friday nights, and it's like struggle to get there on Friday, because now all of a sudden it's kids and it's this and it's that, and Friday nights, and you know, he just told me, he was like, man, you have to be there for your family to know this works.
That's right.
You know, and that like kind of gave me this like shift in my perspective of like, you know, like practicing principles is not something I just do in the rooms. And so it's like allowed me to start utilizing these principles in my life and doing them at home and doing them at the grocery store, doing them here and doing there, and being able to grow doing that, you know, and not just in the book and in the rooms, you know. And I'm really thankful for it. You know, now in life, you know, it's like for a solid year, I thought I wasn't doing enough because everybody else. I don't know if you went through that, but it's like all the other buddies that don't have kids and don't have. I mean, now you're a business owner and all that stuff, and I start like looking at myself, thinking I should be doing the same thing that this person's doing. When
I should be making 5 meetings a week.
When they don't.
You know,
Look, man, somebody picked up a chip last night, and I told him after he picked up a what was it?
16 years?
No, was it? I thought, how many did Roe get last night? 9, 10? Yeah. And he was like, yeah, man, when I'm, you know, I know when I'm struggling, when I'm only going to my home group and I'm only meeting one sponsee a week and this and that. And I went up to him after and I was like, bro, your struggle is my like home run right now. I was like, dude, if I get
where I want to live at,
end of this, and I'm winning, dude. And like, you know, and so. But I want to talk about that for a few minutes, man, before we end, is like what other, you know, having the boys and this and that. And I know you're a 12-step guy too, but like what other things, A, were you kind of forced to incorporate, and B, that you kind of learned that you needed to incorporate?
Well, as far as like the mental health
or anything, man. I know you're like exercise has been a good thing for you, and how much that helps mental health.
We talk about that a lot. Is like, you know, just doing this isn't everything you need to do, right? Because I mean, the illness goes out in so many directions, right? Our mind, our bodies, and this like that. You know, spirituality and the spiritual part of it is one part of it, you know, but. After so much damage, there's other things that we have to do in our lives. You know?
Yeah, dude, I'll tell you. So I definitely, you know, I'd quit smoking. Yeah. And like, cause you know, look, whenever I went to Woodlake, it's militant, you know, but that's what I needed. It was like, this is what you do.
Let's use the word structured.
Structured. I'm sorry, but dude, I like it though, because somebody like me, I'm hard-headed. I don't need you to tell me about my feelings and do all this. I need you to shoot me straight. Yeah. And that's what saved my life. That's why I love this place. But anyways, but you get sober and you start living life, and like you said, I'm not making 5 meetings a week. And I'll say this before I get on that. There's a woman, a very strong woman in the program who I always call for advice, Layla. And she told me this one time. She said, what I do at 4 years sober doesn't look like what I did at 1 year sober. And that kind of made me feel better because I was going through that. But I had started going to therapy at probably about 2 years sober because stuff with the kids and other things that I had going on in my life. And because I finally started realizing, okay, you're sober, right? You're off drugs, but you got some other issues in your mind, dog. Like you got you got things that you can also work on while being now you're getting the opportunity to really grow, you know? I started doing that, and I did start going.
Who suggested that to you? Was there somebody that was like...
My family for the past 20 years?
Probably everybody in your life.
You need to see a therapist.
Bro, whenever I told my sister that I was going to therapy, the sigh of relief, they know better than I know. I think I know. But dude, it rocketed me. Like I was here. Any type of level of growth is going to be uncomfortable. Yeah. And it's kind of a breakdown to build up type thing. And I just did it over the computer, and it... boom. And then I started taking care of my health. I started caring about things that I used to not care about, you know, and I learned more things about myself, what makes me tick. Because even though I'm sober, dog, I'm kind of like that right now. I could be a mess, bro. Yeah. I could be running off of every instinct in the world.
For sure, yeah.
You know what I mean? And I got to the point, dude, where I was messing up so bad, even though I was sober, I was doing things I wasn't proud of, whatever it may be. And then I'd just go and work with a newcomer, right? And I'd work with a newcomer because that was what I was supposed to do. Well, I did stay sober through it, thank God, from doing that. But I'd also leave the newcomer and realize that maybe after, I feel a little bit better, okay, I'm right back to doing what I was doing. So I had to learn a little bit deeper about myself. So if you're able to stay sober, you can start going a little bit deeper into yourself and learning things. And then I got into self-help. I got into, wanting more out of life, because I'm like, if I'm here and God gave me the opportunity to be sober, I don't want to just squander it. I'm blessed. You know what I mean? Let's try a little bit more.
Yeah.
Let's see where we can go.
Yeah, I've become like very intrigued in like how the mind works.
Yeah.
And learning that kind of stuff as I've gotten sober and it's
Led you into being a counselor?
maybe.
Yeah.
Or
But
just
you
I was
also-
really good at going to rehab,
Right.
man.
But I mean, that's also part of it too. I think that kind of helps you grow into being better for people like Spencer that maybe comes into treatment and stuff like that. Is I want to grow my knowledge of like mental health and the mind so that I can better help you with some tools that you may need.
That's right.
And it's like this, man. Like, the experience that you and I had one another with, client, counselor, whatever the case may be, we still have a good relationship past that. That you can call on me or we can talk and know that we can hit it off one another. You know what I'm
And
saying?
I'm very thankful for that.
Whether I'm struggling or you're struggling, we're all, it's like I said before, we're trying to seek the same goal, which is, a little spiritual health and a little mental conditioning. You know what I'm saying? What can I do to condition my mental health a little bit better? Help me see things a little bit different, because I can cloud everything that I'm going to think in my mind and make myself believe it. You know what I mean? I want to talk a little bit too, while we got a couple more minutes. I see you got a shirt on there. It says 225 Repair. What is that?
So that's my small business that I opened up.
Yeah, you got a business, man. See, that's another part of
Crazy.
this.
And
like,
it's small. It's
dude,
maybe an understatement, huh,
I mean,
man?
you got people
Taking
working
off.
for you.
Yeah.
And so and it all started with doing little odds and end jobs over at the Arts, right?
Yeah, it started because of daycare. You know what I mean? Look.
You had to pay bills.
About 2 years in, I was at the Plasma Donation Center, right?
First struggle, yeah.
I had got a promotion, and it put me like $200 over the limit
So
for the
you
state
lost
helping me
your-
out,
yeah.
right? And I was like, so I go to the Plasma Center, I get everything.
You're the one guy at the plasma center that's not gonna go buy dope.
Yeah, no, look, I'm sitting in the waiting area. Dude's giving me the game. He's like, you go to this one, and then you go to this one off plank. They're not. You're like back in the
writing
day
it
with the
down
pill mills.
so I could buy diapers.
Yeah.
Right, man. Like, yeah.
They hooked me up, dude, and you got to give a test run the first time.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm in there and I'm looking around and it click, clack, click, clack, click, clack.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And they're like a bunch of lab rats, and I was just like, this ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
I can't do this.
do this.
So whenever they unhooked me, I was like, I got to figure it out. So I started doing side work.
Yeah.
And it started. I got an LLC.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm gonna do this, right? Because it was always my dream. I remember me and my ex-wife used to be in the trap house, and I'd be nodding off, be like, I'm gonna start my own business one day.
Yeah.
Swear to God.
One day.
And she'd be like, okay.
Manifestation,
Yeah.
Jason.
She'd be like, yeah, Spence, yeah. What the
Yeah,
fuck would she
yeah,
believe me, But I got an LLC, I got general liability, and then before I knew it, man, it only took 2 or 3. I made a website, shitty website, but I made
Did
one.
you make it or you had somebody?
made it.
Okay.
$300, and I took blood, sweat, and that was the hardest part. It took me like 3 months. I'm not that good with that shit. Put myself
He's
on,
sitting there.
bro, putting pictures, different pages and shit,
Yeah.
and all the code and stuff.
That's what starting a business is all about, though, man.
It is, it is.
Putting your blood, sweat, and tears into it, and manifesting those things in your life to where you want to be and what you want to try to achieve in life, man. And by the grace of God, you're here to be able to do those things. And like, I get the opportunity. I've said this many times before. I have gotten the opportunity I've been blessed with the opportunity to see you two, come in at day one, broken down, broken men, garbage bags, whatever the case may be. And to be able to look across the room and be able to see him on a daily basis and the things he's accomplished, man, is a true blessing for me. And I might get a little emotional, but like that's a blessing that I'm given. You know what I'm saying? Like, and look, you know, and not to toot your horn or what, not to toot your horn,
not to toot you,
not to toot you, bro, but
not on camera,
look what
man.
God's done in your life.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? The program is done for both of y'all and several people that we have on here, man. And I just want to say it was a privilege having you on, and I think that was kind of, you know, probably something a little bit higher than me telling, hey, let's get this guy on, you know, and I appreciate you coming, man. It was great having you.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, because I was like, man, what the hell they doing?
I'm usually calling him.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I will say this too before we end, and it's just that, man, like the level of respect I have for you, man. Like I said, you know, being able to see everything in your life, you know, kind of transpire to where it is, and you've made, I don't know, man, I look up to you. You've made some difficult moves and done some difficult things. You know, whether it be fatherhood or this or that, I mean, in doing that stuff, you know, obviously, man, you've got people that care. I know that's the thing about this program is we always have people we care, but at the end of the day is like, you've done this stuff, and it's really awesome, man. You know, but even like you said, because I'm with you, man, like it's nice to be financially stable and to have some material things and all that, but I'm with you, man. Like at the end of the day, it doesn't really like
you don't learn it. You don't learn it until you go through it.
But I will say this, man, is that like somebody, Frank, told me just, and you know, that's somebody that I've become very close with over the years, and he said, you know, when you live by principles, you don't have to tell people you live by principles. And like that's what I think about with you, man, is like, you know, these principles that we're trying to grow towards is like you speak those without having to use any words, that's man. Right. And I just commend you, man. I respect you. I look up to you, man. I really think that's awesome, man. And I appreciate you taking time from your, you know, work schedule and single dad and all that stuff, for us, man.
Low life,
dude. I think I called both of y'all probably a month or two ago tripping. So like, it's all good, you know what I mean?
About this, and then we're able to call you and say, hey, man, let's talk about, let's get on this, whatever. I still think it's crazy. Yeah. Really, you get in here and it's just like talking with buddies. Like, we've lived in sober living. You know, our thing was smoking cigarettes and playing ping pong and stuff. The free ping pong, and you know, and it's like, I've had the opportunity to just, man, I just think it's awesome, man. And I truly do. I appreciate you coming, man. This, you know, it was raining today, work was crazy, this and that, but you get here and get to have this conversation. I'll get in the vehicle and leave, and I'm just going to, man, if just in a different place of like, this is crazy. You know, we don't deserve the life that we have today. So, you know, thanks again, man. I appreciate you coming, Spence.
Thanks for having me,
you know, so, and are we going to end this without talking about Jeff's shirt?
Let's hit that for a minute, dog.
I was trying to match your energy, dude. You know, you always be coming
we
with
like his Hawaiian shirt. I didn't want the podcast to end without us saying.
Look like he ain't washed it since he bought it.
I mean, nice it's brand new, straight out of the Stitch Fix box.
Stitch Fix, dude. Whatever. Yeah, he gets his clothes delivered to the house.
I'm just trying to match.
That's how you know you're a celebrity. When they deliver your clothes to the house. So.
Mad at you, bro.
Yeah. So all right, man.
What would Jeff do?
Jeff, man, thank you, dude. Thanks for.
Try to shake my hand.
I was like, I don't want to do all that. What are we doing, man? Do it again next time?
Do it again next time,
right, man. Guys, thank y'all for joining us for another episode. Again, Spencer for being here with us, taking time. Make sure to like, follow, share, subscribe.
Top of the screen.
I'm pointing up. I don't know if we do that now. We'll see you guys next time. Thank y'all.
Thank you.